Hey, what's up? It's Hunter Nelson with Tortoise & Hare Software, and today we're going to be talking about some essential and often overlooked considerations for your WordPress website. So without further ado, let's pop over to the screen capture. All right, so a WordPress website can be very simple, but there's a lot more to it than a lot of people understand for the most part. But we'll talk about a couple of the key design considerations for kind of a high performing website, and some of those concerns. But first, I wanted to start off with thinking about whether WordPress is even a fit for your business. I put together a couple quick criteria here for thinking about whether WordPress is a good fit for you. And one of those is, are you going to be incorporating blogging either in the near term or in the future? If you are, then that's one kind of good checkbox to understand if WordPress is a good fit for your business. Do you plan on enhancing this website to incorporate kind of a SaaS product or have this become like software? And while it's certainly possible for WordPress to be customized into more sophisticated software, in general, it's not a good fit for building like a SaaS product around on WordPress. Again, it can be done, but there's usually a lot better tools to build like a software product. You'd be better off installing WordPress as a subdomain for your blog if all you want is the kind of blogging and content editing features of that. Or you can install your SaaS product on a subdomain and then use WordPress just for the customer facing kind of content editing portion. So again, but in general, my recommendation is do not build like sophisticated SaaS software on WordPress. And then, is there going to be ongoing content development? In addition to the blog, are you going to be building landing pages and kind of creating content on your website? So if you have kind of those three concerns, WordPress at its core is a content management system. So it's meant to manage the ongoing production of web content, blog posts, and things like that. So if you're not going to be doing that content development and you just want to kind of a set it and forget it sort of 5-page website, then the speed overhead of using like PHP and getting that kind of dynamic functionality is just not worth it. You can rank higher with a static website, and because your page load times are going to be faster, and you won't have to deal with the complexity of configuring WordPress and managing it on an ongoing basis. So if you don't have any ongoing content development needs, then go with a static site. Okay, so that said, if you have chosen to go with WordPress, there's some considerations from a design perspective that are going to be important. So let's talk about some of those. So a WordPress website, if you kind of want to flesh out everything, is going to have several different like elements that you or the agency that you're working with are going to need to tackle. First of those is the header. That's going to be an important part of that's presented on each page. So it's definitely important to kind of think about that as its own standalone item. You want to make sure you have contact information available, that you've given some thought to the navigation structure, kind of how you want to organize the information architecture, you will, of your website, that you're presenting your brand appropriately with your logo, colors, and how those colors in your header are going to gel with the page designs. Okay, so that's the header, and then your footer is another kind of key consideration because it's going to be present on every page of your website. So definitely want to give it some thought. Footers usually aren't typically that complicated, but think about what are the key things that you want to promote at the bottom of the page when somebody's already scrolled through the content on that page. Is it important links that you want to kind of promote? Is it social media profiles? Do you want to ask them for contact information with a form at the bottom? Do you want to give some little brand candy with an illustration? What are those priorities after they've already seen your offer that you want to show them as part of your footer? So definitely want to think about that. The next and probably most important thing to think about is your homepage. And this is the one that's usually kind of obvious. Like everybody knows that their homepage has got to be super tight and the right, because it's going to be the most trafficked page on your website most of the time. And it's usually going to be not only the initial landing page for a lot of people that are searching for your brand, but it's going to be the second page visited after people come in on a blog post or otherwise kind of visit the website. So it has, it's important to provide like a crisp brand experience with like something that makes your brand really unique in the form of like illustrations or the design or color scheme on that homepage, and kind of present your best offer or your most important call to action on your homepage. But then it's also going to be important to say like, how do I help people get from the homepage to some of the more important pages on the website via cross-promoted content. So a lot of times you'll see a primary kind of call to action with like a headline, but then like after you get below that first scroll of the fold, what are the three most important things, or what is the most important thing that I want to cross promote as a visitor of the homepage and help them get to? Do I want to help them find the blog? Do I want to help them find key service description pages? So those are some things that working with an agency can help you like figure out. The next is going to be the about page. So your about us page or meet the team page, whatever it is, the one that kind of tells people a little bit more about your company from a less promotional standpoint and more just kind of like people behind the curtain, if you will, standpoint, is usually going to be the second most trafficked page on your website. And it's not uncommon to see people go to the about page right after hitting the home page, especially on like an organic visit. So this one's less obvious and is one of the pages I see kind of not paid the attention that it deserves given the amount of traffic about pages usually get. So definitely an important one to think about, and also incorporate a little bit more of an extra visual feel or kind of a unique flair on. All right, kind of the next part is your contact page. And contact pages are going to have all your key contact information, but one of the main goals of a contact page is really going to be to minimize the friction involved in contacting. If you get people to actually get to your contact page, don't give them a reason to kind of control that impulse, if you will. Definitely make sure that they can get whatever it is they're trying to do done as quickly as possible without any sort of distractions. So, don't incorporate any of those kind of distracting visual imagery or things like that. Just make it crisp and easy for people to finish the act of contacting you. Kind of the next thing to consider is an inner page template. So most of your service description pages and inner pages that aren't kind of one of these special ones that we just talked about are going to follow a similar sort of template. Now you can certainly get multiple templates configured, but in general, most people will have one inner page template and then just control the uniqueness of that page with content or photos or other sort of content-driven flares. So that's one to consider. Then a PPC landing page template. Now this is something that I've done on most of my client websites that I see a lot of other agencies don't do, and that's build a template specifically for pay-per-click landing pages. And a pay-per-click landing page is usually going to have no header navigation, no footer navigation, and it's only going to be about the content on that page. Should have one call to action. And this kind of takes a little bit of manipulation of the PHP code on the back end to both, exclude some of that header and footer stuff, but also keep the code that helps load your analytics scripts, your tag manager scripts, and other important kind of like behind the scenes code, and load that on a PPC landing page template. So definitely want to make sure that when you get one of these built, if you're a business, that you have a PPC landing page template built as part of your website. The next is going to be your blog roll template. So that's going to be the core blog page that lists all your posts in order. And there's more to it than just the blog. You should definitely have categories within your blog posts, tags within your blog post. If you define a custom taxonomy, help people discover the blogs that you're going to be producing, because as your site ages and you publish more content, you start getting 30, 40, 50 or more blog posts, there's definitely a real concern on how do I help people continue to find these blog posts that are useful to them and engage with that content. And a lot of that's done through effective kind of blog design. So important one to think about. On a related note, you also want to have a category and tag page template built. So make sure that when people click on those blog categories, that there's a similar concerns to the blog roll are addressed within that category or tag page template. Help show only posts for that category and tag within that template. And if there's any sub navigation concerns, make sure that those are addressed as well. If you have relevant offers to the category or tag, you can also kind of show those on those category and tag page templates. So another thing to think about. Then of course there's the single post template. So, if you only have kind of the out of the box page and post sort of template, you'll have might have a sidebar in your blog post or something like that has offers or promotes your recent posts or related posts within the tag or category that single post is a member of. So definitely want to make sure that you have a good single blog post template. And then if you have other custom post types within your WordPress instance, then you want to make sure that you have tight template pages for those as well. And these next three are really kind of under the radar, and I see are usually don't have a whole lot of attention paid to them. But as your site grows, again, as you start publishing a lot of content, and sometimes pages tend to move around or URLs change, things like that. It's kind of inevitable that at some point you'll have a 404 come in on your website. So 404 is, the page is not found. So people come to your domain and then type in a typo in a URL or something like that. And they get to a page not found. You definitely want to have a way for them to find whatever it is that they were looking for. And that's either via site search, promote your blog categories and tags, put your key landing pages or service description pages within that 404 page. And it's also a good chance to kind of create a little more visual brand flair within the blog post here. I kind of link some of the good examples of like companies that have done something unique within their 404 page, like Marvel, for instance, that shows some Avengers characters on their 404 page. So, helps kind of reinforce the brand, and it's a good way to like do a little something kind of fun for your brand on that page. Then your search page, a lot of kind of WordPress websites won't even have a search page or a way to do site search, and you're missing out on a huge opportunity there, because site search helps people, it increases engagement, helps people kind of stay on site, but it also gives you clues past your search engine data to what your visitors are actually looking for, because you can track these search queries from your search pages in your Google Analytics and get some valuable data there. So definitely want to have a search page and promote your search feature within your website. You definitely kind of want to have another supporting page that's related to that one, and that's a search results page. So that's usually going to look similar to your blog roll template, and that you'll promote your the results of your posts or pages in kind of a looping roll of those results, and then have some cross-promoted navigational elements to help people navigate those search results or help them find what they're looking for in those pages. So most people are going to think about maybe these top 4 or 5 elements, and then pretty much the last half of these are usually going to be neglected. Maybe not the blog roll one, but definitely want to make sure that you're working with an agency. If you're getting somebody to build you a website, that is taking care of all these additional templates that aren't going to be used as often, especially on a new website, but they also become important as your site grows, and can really help you tighten up rankings on SEO by avoiding issues such as bounces on all these pages. So definitely important things to consider. So it's easy to think like, oh, I'm starting a WordPress website. I'm a simple business. I've got a home, about 2 or 3 services, and think you've got a 5-page website. No, you've really got a 13, 14, 15-page website out the gate on WordPress if you're doing it right. So make sure that you're considering these design elements and types of page templates that need to be produced when purchasing a business marketing website. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table and shortchanging your brand. There's more info in the blog post. I definitely recommend you kind of checking it out. It's got some kind of good color and good examples of some of these templates that we talked about in this video. The link again is going to be in the description on the YouTube video. If you have questions, concerns, or any other feedback, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this video on YouTube. And thank you for watching. Again, I'm Hunter Nelson with Tortoise and Hare Software, and until next time.